Welcome to Home Buying Made Easy, the podcast where we pull back the curtain on mortgages, real estate, and everything the big banks hope you never figure out. Michael Dendy is a licensed mortgage loan officer with Edge Home Finance, and I'm Rachel, co-host and producer of the show. Every episode, Michael and I break down the stuff that actually matters without the jargon. This show is designed for everyday people like you and I to learn the home buying process so you can buy smarter, save more, and stop leaving money on the table. Now let's dive into today's episode.
Welcome to Home Buying Made Easy. I am Michael, and we are in another episode of Home Buying Made Easy where we help people, educate them in the home buying process. For sometimes it's real estate related, sometimes it's mortgage related, sometimes it's a combo related. So I got Rachel here, and I'm going to set the record straight up front because last week you told me that my shirt was not a Hawaii shirt, and it was a fishing shirt, but it was because I was going fishing.
Yes.
But it was still a Hawaii shirt. Yeah. But I have completely negated anything like that. This is straight up Hawaii.
Yeah.
See, Pupukea.
Yeah, it's
Bonsai
very
pipeline.
Hawaii. For those listening, he's wearing a very Hawaii shirt.
Yeah. It's got like
you
names.
You should go to the YouTube and look at his shirt and say, wow, Michael, you have a really nice shirt.
Thank you. Thank you.
You should comment that. Everybody comment that, please.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so today we have another episode of Home Buying Made Easy. And our topic that I wanted to cover was having one house and maybe not being able to sell that house before you have to go buy a new one. Whether that be like maybe your job's transferring you, but then your old house isn't selling well in the market. So you still have to go and get in, like, be there for that job and get a new house. So I wanted to talk about bridge loans and what those are and how it works. So,
okay. So there are certain lenders that will allow you to do what's in previous long pre-2006 kind of language. Bridge loans were a disaster altogether because there's a lot of liability behind holding that much in a loan. So that has come back around with a lot more compliance, and there's lenders that have made strides at making sure that it's, one, done properly, and two, that it still makes sense for the consumer. A bridge loan works like this. You take a portion of the equity, like a payoff, and you basically buy that out like a refinance. Mm-hmm. So you're paying off that note, and then that lender's holding that note. You're also doing the new purchase with the same lender. It all has to be done with the same lender. Right. And then you can go and you sell your house. They'll usually limit the loan. It's called loan to value, the equity that you can pull from a house. They don't want you to over leverage, because if you ever have to come down in price when you're trying to sell a house, you don't want to get upside down.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But a bridge loan would carry the mortgage, the new mortgage, and would carry an interest only, most of the time it's interest only, first payment on your existing house that you still have.
Yeah.
Until that can be paid off.
Interesting. Okay. So how much can you typically borrow with a bridge loan, and what are the interest rates in comparison to, let's say, a conventional or FHA loan?
Well, really, there's no way to look at what the interest rates are going to be, because you're dealing with a first on a new primary. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's all over the place, whether you're doing FHA, VA, conventional. So that's one thing. You're dealing with a bridge loan interest only payment also, which is a completely different animal. So that's a completely different rate. So, in essence, this combination of things doesn't really. I mean, it's so individual depending on how much money you're getting out of the house. Like I said, they're going to limit. They're going to put a cap on what you can borrow as it relates to the existing house you have. If you don't have a lot of equity, it's probably not going to work. Mm-hmm. So if you're at 95% loan to value, so you don't have a lot of equity, a bridge loan's probably not going to work because the lender's going to want to be protected a little bit more than that. And the best way to protect a lender is for you to have more equity.
Yeah. Okay. So it seems like there's a lot of, I don't know, little caveats and nuances and in the home buying process, every loan is different. We know that. So when does a bridge loan or a loan like this make sense? And when does it just kind of look like it might be financially disastrous?
Gotcha.
What's that look like?
Yeah, I would say it makes sense when you're moving a family and you want to get into a school system and you're trying to get to a specific place and you're going to live in a certain area. And you know, when you uproot your family, we moved several years ago, 6, 7
oh my gosh.
years ago. I did that.
Yeah, you really did.
But when we moved our family from Michigan to Tennessee, that's a big undertaking. Not just that we're moving the family, but we're uprooting them. So if they don't have some stability and know where they're going to live, and that could be really hard on your kids. So I think it's important, like you would consider something like that in that type of situation where you're moving, not necessarily from state to state, but even across town or whatever, where you're going to change school systems. You want to get plugged into your neighborhood, plugged into local sports or local whatever you're doing, plus the schools. And that is going to be huge. Mm-hmm. And I think a bridge loan could definitely help in that situation.
Yeah.
Another situation for a bridge loan would be if you're going to, let's say you have a huge equity position and like you're only at 50%, meaning your loan left to pay off is only 50% of what the value of the house is. You could always do a loan, like a conventional loan, where it's minimal down, get into the new house, sell the old house, and your loan payment's going to be low. Your bridge loan payment's going to be low because you're at 50%.
Yeah.
And then you can take that money that you sold and you can drop it as a lump sum on the new house. That would make sense because then you're going to be in a new great equity position on the new house once you sell the old one. And we actually had somebody just do that, and they maybe 2 months ago paid off their existing mortgage because they had sold a property where they were moving from, and it was all cash.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have an equity position. Wow. Like it was 100%. So they did a bridge.
Yeah.
And then once they did that, it was against the house that they were selling that they didn't have a mortgage on, so that they could purchase a new one. And they did that, purchased a new one, and then they just sold the other house. It's ridiculous, but they made like $1 million or something. Wow. And they paid off the first.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. As far as a disastrous situation, I think if you don't have enough equity, that's a problem.
Yeah.
It's not. It makes more sense to just sell first, or maybe do a contingent offer where they sell it. And, you buy and sell at the same time. Mm-hmm. That's called contingent offer.
What does having enough equity look like?
Typically, I would say you need to be at 80% So what that means is you have equity, 20% equity in the house. That's usually the point where you no longer have mortgage insurance, that kind of thing. That's probably a good benchmark to be at. Yeah. There are some that will do it with less, like 15%. But you got to remember that the position that you're putting yourself in is if it doesn't sell quickly, you're making payments.
Yeah.
You're continuing to make payments. And then let's say you have to drop the price. Now there's less equity. Every time you drop the price, there's less equity available.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to be super careful there.
Yeah, for sure. So very last question in this episode of Home Buying Made Easy is, in a market where your current home might take months to sell, is a bridge loan worth the cost and complexity in your professional opinion?
That's an individual situation.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is there are there's true bridge loans like we're talking about, but there's also some other products, some other companies that will do what's called buy before you sell. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't work the same as a bridge loan, but in some cases that might be more advantageous because, you know, they'll let's say it takes 6 months. They'll give you 6 months to sell in the buy before you sell programs.
Yeah.
And that could be enough to get you across the finish line, you know?
Right.
So that might be a better choice. From a bridge loan perspective, if you can handle the payments of both your new mortgage and your bridge, I'd say that it's probably worth it versus going and trying to Airbnb or rent for several months or rent for a year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's if you haven't ever heard this before, you need to hear this. Look right here or put your ear up if you're listening. If you are paying rent, your current interest rate is 100%. Because rent is 100% interest.
Yeah.
You are paying somebody else's mortgage.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. So if you are thinking, oh, well, we'll just rent for a year. Okay. Rent for a year times $3,000. It's a lot of money. What could you do with $36,000?
A lot of things.
And you get nothing.
Yeah.
Except a place to live.
Right.
And maybe a parking spot.
Maybe.
Poor Rachel. She's having a hard time with her parking spot.
I don't have a parking spot. That's the problem.
I said you're having a hard time with it.
I'm currently renting too. So yes. I'm paying 100% interest.
You are paying 100% interest. That's why I was looking at you.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So if you have other questions, you want to find out more about the bridge loan process or the buy before you sell process, feel free to reach out, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email from me, Michael, and Rachel.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Home Buying Made Easy. If you're ready to take your next step, our team is standing by. You can call or text us directly at 615-499-6335. You can also reach us at michael@dendyteam.com or check out the link in the show notes below. Whether you have one question or you're ready to go, we'll meet you right where you are. Thanks for joining us. From our team to you, let's make home buying easy.